Hey, what's up everybody? It's Matt. I'm back with a quick walk around video. This is just to introduce the new truck, the new build. I picked it up last month, February. I wasn't expecting it. I sold my Tacoma. You saw the video below. The build mistake's one of that. So I wanted to find something that was a little bit more stock so that I could start over with basically like a clean slate. That one had so many issues with the bracket lift that was on it. All that stuff was just causing too many things that was limiting me. The 5-foot bed was too short. So after driving a second gen Tundra for work, I really wanted one, and for some reasons we'll go into. So this is a 2020 SR5 TRD Sport Edition. This is the double cab, so it has the long bed, and it already had a few things on it when I got it, and that's kind of why I picked it up so fast. After I sold my Tacoma, I wanted to wait, find the perfect vehicle. I didn't want to like rush into something, have a car payment again. And then I ended up finding this one on Facebook. It only had like 4 photos. It was mislisted, and it already had methods, rad flows, and a whole bunch of other stuff we'll get into. So let's jump on in. All right, so to start off, like I said, this is the 6.5-foot bed, the double cab. I don't have kids, just 2 dogs, so I don't really need the crew cab for people or anything like that. And so I got this because when I took a trip with the Tundra for work that had a double cab, the seats were up and the dogs were in it, and they had space with a refrigerator back there, and their heads weren't like right here in our face. So I got this one. I already built out a seat delete in there and did some stuff to it. So started that, but the big reason was the 6.5-foot bed. With that, you have more living space. So the crew cab Tundra, Crew Max, has a 5.5-foot bed. I'm 6 foot tall, so I wouldn't be able to like just lay in the back and sleep back there. Whereas this one, I can. If I ever do get a camper, I'll have a lot more like floor space to live in. But to start out, when I first saw this one, I noticed that it had methods on it, which you can see right there. So these are the 316 standards. They're not the bead grip, but you know, I'm not doing a ton of like rock crawling and stuff, and so the standards will do fine for now. If I feel the need to, I can upgrade those eventually. And inside there, you can see there's already some rad flows replaced. So they didn't have those listed, and they weren't even in the first couple pictures. I went on the website, and there was a photo kind of like this where I could see the rad flows and the methods, and I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna pick that one up. When I got it, it already had those rigids right there. They're not super bright, they're fogs, but they even are just, they're not bright at all. So ended up, my boys over at Baja Designs sent me these light replacements here. Oh, so when I replaced them, super easy to replace. The driver's side was literally 5 minutes, get the plate off, plug it in, everything. But this one, when I pulled this backing plate off, all the wires were just like severed. So I ended up having to go get a new harness from Toyota. That was expensive, but got them both working there. So eventually I'm gonna replace these rigids with some squadrons or something, but I haven't pulled them off yet just because since they cut it, there's like a big tooth gap right here, and I've had one of those in my face for a while, and it's just not fun. So I'll leave it there until I get some squadrons or something. Eventually, I'll end up replacing the entire bumper with, I'm hoping to go with the ADD Stealth Fighter. I like how that one looks, but I'm just gonna leave it for now. There was no roof rack on the truck when I got it. I ended up picking up the Sherpa, so I've got the little bear up front and the crow's nest topper rack on the back. Super stoked to be part of the Sherpa family now. Team over there is great. They're doing a lot of cool stuff in the industry, and they have a great community that they're building. So I had a front runner on the other truck. Nothing wrong with that, but Sherpa is local to me, so I wanted to support my local crew, and so far I love it. One of the things that I really like about this rack, and we'll do a better walk around once I get some stuff on it, is there's no lip right here, so you can bring things all the way to the edge. It gives you a little bit more space. I wonder if you can see it now. There it is. There's the rad flows. So the other thing about this truck was It was just listed as an SR, not an SR5. When they had the VIN up, I plugged that in and noticed that they had mislisted it. And they also didn't list that it was the TRD Sport model. So I got a lot of cool extras on this, and they didn't even list it. As you can see, there's some camper jacks right there, or like, not jacks, but where you can mount your camper for the bed. But my guess is that since this was a one-owner car, it was some older guy who had a big old camper in there, and once the truck got to 70,000 miles, he thought, screw it, I'm gonna get a new one. On that note, one of the things that I noticed when I went and picked it up that wasn't listed was it has airbags. So now I can put some weight in the back, and I've got airbags to kind of help me deal with that if I need to, which is awesome. And we got that. Right now, the truck's running some Goodyear Wranglers. They're pretty much shot, so I'm gonna switch back to some Toyos. On the last truck, I was running the RT Trails. I think on this one, I'm gonna end up just going back to the AT3s. Those are such good year-round tires, and they last a little bit longer on the tread and stuff. So just looking for that. It already came with the topper as well. So that was one of the things when I was looking for a truck, I kind of really wanted to find one with a topper so that I wouldn't have to spend money to get one. I could just have one, have the gear in the back protected, because my last truck, I had one, I sold it so that I could end up buying a roof rack. And then like, it was cool having the bed open, but there's a lot of times where I had gear that I wanted to put in there. So speaking of that, let's look in the back end here. So one of the things that I thought was really cool when I got this was it already had this bed rug in it. This was already in here. He kind of built it as a bench. It's not secured, so I don't know exactly what it was used for, but I do like that the bed is, or this top plate is cut all around to form around the edge. So I might use that to build out a small bed platform for me to just sleep on in the back here. It already had a couple accessory attachments on either side, so that's cool. But this bed rug is really nice because if you're sleeping in here, it kind of keeps it more insulated. It sound deadens a little bit, just makes it a little bit more comfortable inside there. So that was a nice little surprise upgrade that I found out when I went and picked it up. I like using my truck as a truck, so that's one of the reasons why I'm not getting a camper, at least for a while, is one, they're expensive, but two, I can sleep here, I can ground camp, I can just load my gear in, pull it out, and then throw supplies in here, go to Home Depot, get wood, get mulch, get whatever, you know, throw a tarp in, cover things up. So I can still run my truck as a truck, keep my gear protected, but then also sleep in this when I'm out. So I'm gonna be sleeping in this at Expo West this year, build like a half platform, have my gear and stuff in here, and yeah, so super excited about this. All right, so here's the back seat delete. It's mostly complete. Like I said, I built this for the dogs, so they had a place to sleep. I have a refrigerator I'll do a review on that I picked up that I'm gonna put over on that side. So that way, you know, get out from the grocery store, just throw some groceries in there and it'll stay there. Someday I might run like a Red Arc type system here to manage that, but for now I just have a EcoFlow Delta 2 that I'll keep plugged into the refrigerator when it's stopped, but I can just plug the refrigerator into the 12-volt port right there. And then this window, I can run a solar panel cord up through and lay it on the roof rack and, you know, keep things charged if the truck's just stopped. So kind of that's my plan for now. It'll still have plenty of room for the dogs. This janky seat back thing is going away. I'll end up getting like a Blue Ridge Overland one because those fit a little bit snugger there. On this side, I'm going to cover this wood with some carpet. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. The sea deck is nice for the dogs to grip, but it's fairly expensive, so kind of a waste to just put it back there. And then we'll see. I'm going to take a trip and see if I need it first, but I kind of want to put a molly panel there so I can mount some cases or some things there utilizing the mounting company mounts. So we'll see what works best. Like I said, I want to take a trip first just to see what I need on that side. So another one of the couple cool things that weren't listed in the photos or anything, they're small, but I like them. The ICS with the 67 mount was already in there, so I already had a place to store my phone when I was driving, and I have room for tablets or GPS or anything like that. But one of the really cool things was inside here, I have a safe that was put in, which is great because in my state now, if you're leaving a pistol in the car, you have to have it locked up. And yeah, so that was already in there. That was kind of a surprise, but really cool. So stoked about that. Again, I really wanted the setup for this cab because just the space that there is in there. The only other small thing that I've already thrown in is the reef panel from Step 22. Love that thing just because it gives a spot to store some little extra things in there. So, yep, that's about it. So that said, that's about all that's done to it so far. Not a whole lot, but this is kind of the starting point for a lot of things what I want to do. The build out for the bed, the camping area in the back is the next project because I have Expo coming up that I want to sleep in. And then I've got a couple more cases coming for the roof rack, some things like that. Right now, that's a condition 801 case on a Mounting Company Medium Plus mount. I'm just got that one up there right now for some photos I got to take for it. But on the other side, I'm going to put on one of their other cases. But like I said, we'll go over the roof rack stuff once I get that more built out. But again, there's no need to really run everything all the time on there. So we'll see what ends up on there. Stay tuned for that. Like I said, we'll do some more things on the front bumper, but only when extra money provides. I'm not in a rush to do that because, like I said in the last video, I spent a lot of money on the truck that I didn't need to spend. I don't want to make that mistake. I'd rather spend the money on the gear that takes me out to the adventures. You know, making sleep comfortable, making the experience out at camp more comfortable, things that can go from rig to rig. So we'll see, but so far I'm pretty stoked. This is again the 2020 SR5's TRD Sport double cab Toyota Tundra, and I'm stoked to see how this gets built out.